Right, hello everybody. Welcome to this podcast on the truth.
I'm just thinking to myself, you just put your jumper over the mic, right?
Shit.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, it's scripted. It didn't, because if it was, we'd never get anything done. It'd be me going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit,
I can't
shit.
remember what I said.
Right, hello everybody. Don't laugh. You put me off.
Take 3.
Is that fan going to be noisy?
Yeah. Just switch it off.
I'm about to turn it off.
Again,
Take
halfway
4.
through and go, should we turn that
Doodle-doodle. Hello everybody, welcome. Haunted the Truth here with another podcast. Don't turn off. I know what you're thinking. Oh, but it's not an episode. They're not going anywhere spooky. Well, we're going to be talking about some saucy subjects, so stick with it. With me today is Chris from Haunted the Truth, and of course Bristol Paranormal Hunters UK.
Yep.
Let's crack on with the theme of what we're doing. We're going to be talking about methods and techniques utilised and used within the paranormal, and what we use and what we don't use.
Also, why we use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to come in anyway on the subject of things that we currently use?
I think we should cover the EMF.
Here it is. The K2 meter. Recently found out though that technically these are not EMFs. They're NFs.
NFs, yeah.
Because they actually don't detect electrical signal. They only detect magnetic.
Magnetic, yeah.
Hence, that's
It's
what
microwaves and stuff
so
like that.
MG is milligauss, and that only detects magnetic waves,
That
not
explains
electric.
the walkie-talkies and that, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
But there's been a few people out there, and I'm not gonna go into it, that have been putting some bad vibes about these. Do you want to talk about that, Chris?
I think, well, let's just say it's not just a paperweight, in my opinion. It's good to use these as an indication for a location to go in the location you're at. So you don't necessarily use it to find a ghost, to communicate with a ghost.
No.
Not
The
at
energy
all.
more than anything
And
else.
I do see a lot of people talking to the EMFs going,
Go to
hello,
Reds.
can you go to red if you're here? You know, please, 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 blah, 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 and all that malarkey. But the problem is that's not how it works, and that's not how we think it works either.
No. I mean, we've had followers and stuff that come with us that have obviously seen other people use these methods, and then they've said that these things when they're with us. And, you know, each to your own. People can kind of do as they please, but we don't personally think that they are devices in which you can get a direct communication. Like, you can't go, if you're male, send it to red. I mean, you're telling, let's say for hypothetical sense, spirits are real. You're asking a spirit to send a device that they have no idea about to go to red.
Probably never
There's-
seen one.
There's some living people
Yeah.
out there that don't even know what
Yeah,
these are.
exactly.
So why would the dead know what they are?
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, now I always thought that they were used for baselines for when you go into an actual property or somewhere supposedly haunted. You're supposed to do baselines, and I thought that's what they were actually used for, just to see if there's any like energy around the place.
Let's talk about the cause and effect of it, right? So this is the facts on our evidence and how we see things, right? If we go to a location and there's no electricity, our phones are on flight mode, and there's no possible way they could be set off, for example, the middle of the woods, and it starts going off, and then all of a sudden, within 5 minutes, something happens. Is that a cause and effect?
The only way to properly assess this is if it goes to red within, let's say you give it, I don't know, half an hour period of grace time, right? If nothing happens, you have to make a no. And then you have to then take a chart at the end of it and go, how many times did it and how many times didn't it, and if the percentage outweighs the didn'ts, then it's pure coincidence. Because as humans, we have a habit of actually finding pattern and linking things together.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're not saying it necessarily is cause and effect, but it seems that more than often when these do start going off into the orange and up to the 20 plus milligauss, that there has been activity surrounding that within like the next half an hour of it doing it.
Yeah, the time frame's very important, but it's different all the time as well. You can't necessarily bank it on a specific time. It's never going to work like that. But I do think, my personal opinion is, if you want to find an area in your location to settle and investigate, you could rely on this to find you that area.
Well, I spoke to one of my friends, and he mentioned, that these aren't the best type of equipment, not necessarily for paranormal thing, but in general as a device to detect stuff, they're not that great. They don't really tell you the full detail. They just give you a couple of lights with not much more information. And he said that I should get a spectro analyzer, and then I looked how much they were, and I was like, that's not happening. So I thought, well, what else can I do? And I thought, well, if I remove every single other option of magnetic radiation by placing this inside of a Faraday cage. So here it is, the prototype Faraday box, coated with copper meshing and your classic EMF K2 reader there. Now, this is going to block pretty much most of the frequency, and it's going to block out mainly the high frequencies such as the RF signal and Wi-Fi, 4G, 3G, that area. The stuff where it's going to be a little bit more difficult because it's copper is in the lower frequencies, such as an MRI scanner or a microwave. But fortunately for us, we're not going to investigate somewhere with this sort of frequency. It's just not going to be a thing. Now, as you can see already, this is going off because something's making it go off, and this here 100% makes it go off. I'm going to place this into the box. As you can see, it takes a little while before it settles down, but if you come over now and look into the box, you can see the green light here, and you can see that this box is not allowing this signal through. So I would say that this is pretty damn good at blocking this frequency, and therefore if something does get through this box, then could that potentially be something paranormal? Because now I've reduced the factors. It'll be interesting to see what this is going to do. So what we don't, I mean, my favourite thing is this, because this is not affected by anything other than you tapping it, and this is something else that I'm also going to place inside of the box. So the EMF would be in there and the bell would be in there. So, oh, the bell went off, oh, something must have fallen on it. What? Through a solid box
and loads of metal meshing.
Yeah, so now that's going to go in there as well. So if that goes off, then the EMF goes mental. I mean, you've got some crazy, crazy stuff going on there.
It's a trick bell. No one can touch it because it's inside of a box.
Let's talk.
It's battery operated.
Things like cat balls, they're horrendously crap.
Right. Okay. Straight to the point.
I can't stand to the cat balls.
Godular. I don't like. Paul,
the slightest wind or the slightest breeze can set them off. Do you know what I mean?
We've never used them.
Paul and Minnie asked me the other day, why don't I use cat balls? And I said, because there's so many things that could be potentially causing them to go off other than the ghost, that I just can't trust them. And I did a test a long time ago where I left them on overnight in my garage, and I put them in like a thing with like soft, so it was like on a soft thing, and I left a camera on it overnight, and periodically throughout the night it would just flicker, and I was like, well, that's just randomly doing it.
Yeah, but even the cold could affect them, I reckon. because they're so
Yeah,
small.
they're not even worth looking
not,
at,
are
really.
they?
No, yeah, we don't use them.
No.
If people do use them, that's up to them. Obviously, we ain't gonna sit here and slate people's
No, definitely not.
experimental desires over them. I mean, like, if you want to use cat balls, you just have to bear one thing in mind. You have to agree that there are such natural causes like wind.
Yeah.
Like you
or the board themselves.
yeah, or
the
footsteps around the environment, just the slightest knock or anything.
Cold weather itself.
Yeah,
the electrics on the thing itself could be.
It affects the battery inside.
I mean, if you leave a cat ball outside in the cold for long enough, that moisture is going to get in somewhere because water will get into that device no matter what.
Yeah, I had one and it broke because of that.
I would say what would be interesting is if you had cat balls which were not charged.
And then they went off. Yeah, that would be incredible.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the ones which, because I used to have one but I lost it. The one that was all right it was quite a big one, and you had to like physically squeeze it or chuck it down like that to make it go off.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, right, if that bugger goes off,
that's a sensory.
someone's got to have done that to it.
A sensory ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel we jumped the gun a little bit though away from the bell. The bell's a really good thing to have because we've actually had that go off. We've had that go off, I think, twice, haven't we? Or 3 times.
Mills.
You've had it once. We've had it on Snuff Mills. We've had it.
So before I did Haunting the Truth, I had it at the Ancient Ramen, and I put it on the windowsill, and it went off. And then we took it to Snuff Mills, and it came off the wall.
Yeah, it did come off the wall. Yeah.
And then we took it to Poltergeist House and put it in the bathroom, and we were all up by looking up the ladder into the attic. Anyway, the bell went off in the bathroom.
Yeah.
We were there and it went.
Yeah.
And I went,
wow.
What? And then the door when it crashed, the door just started going like that and opening by itself.
Josh, you're in the worst position you can be. You're stood on that bloody ladder, mate. Go up in the loft.
No, I can't, because if something comes out of here...
Just go in the loft.
I can't.
Well, you're going to have to, mate.
Have you seen this?
Bell.
Oh my God!
Bell went off.
See what
Bell
I mean?
went off.
I just shat my pants.
Bell went off. Thank you, by the way. I asked for that all the bloody time, right? Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I had my knees twice coming down there, and I was only halfway up the bloody thing. If I was up there when that fucking bell come down, I would have flew down here like Superman. Face first.
I really appreciate that. Because I brought that specifically for you. So
I've gone lightheaded, I've gone dizzy, I've got to sit down.
Oh, that's scary.
It's really good. Just if you're gonna get one, make sure it's got a hollow bottom, because if it's got a solid bottom, you're gonna get accused of having a gimmicked bell, and there are a few out there. Believe me, we've called a couple of people out on them in the past.
Yeah, there are gimmick tricks that you can get our bells. We don't obviously use them, but people have.
Yeah, I try to pull wool over people's eyes, and if you do use that, we will spot it. The newest thing, I think, is this. That's the newest installment to what we use, which is a thermal imaging camera.
Yeah, they're pretty decent, I think.
I've not seen any
I think
spirits on it or anything like that yet, but I think the best use that I've found with it is where it's like, what's that noise? It was over there, and then you go, and then you just see like a rat or something, it glows, and you're like, oh, there's an animal, because you can see it on this.
See, now with that,
Would
that actually detect, if you came across a spirit, would that actually detect one?
The weird thing would be is if like you was like sat there and let's say we were in some grotty old building somewhere, and then I was like, oh, come into this room, can you do something? And then you felt like a change
in temperature,
next to you. Not change in temperature, but like maybe something go in like that, like because you feel the vibration
like
of
movement,
that, and you're like, Mark, I think someone's just sat next to me. And then if I went like that, and then there was a patch in that area that was consistently colder or consistently hotter in that spot, that would be weird.
Yeah.
The only downside to this is it doesn't record. You know what I mean?
You
like,
can
take pictures.
You can take pictures, obviously, but like it doesn't record.
Okay, methods. Taunting.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
Sorry, but I think
I love
it
it.
works. But
why
I don't
two
think
cover
I
it?
don't think you need to like shout your nuts off per se.
I disagree with you there, brother.
Because unless a ghost wears hearing aids,
I mean, even I'm.
But then what if that ghost is like a mile away from you?
You're calling out in that particular area. You're not calling out 6 miles away. You know what I mean?
But they might be down the shops.
Shot.
Ghost shops.
I think
But taunting does work.
there's a misconception,
I can
I think,
100% say it does
between
work. Yeah.
being loud and creating the echo. And I think what I've fallen into is thinking that I need to shout to create the echo for it to hear me.
Yeah.
And
Then why don't we build a device that would create an echo?
we need one of them.
Oh my god, can you imagine Mark with a megaphone? That would be
Well,
insane.
well, how I would suggest it works, right? If you are going to taunting is just one of these things where it's frowned upon by a lot of people. You shouldn't do it. It's disrespectful. But there's a difference in how you should taunt to general taunting anyway. So how you should do it is just be a little bit sarcastic. Maybe call out the spirit in general for how weak it is, or oh, I don't believe in you, rather than getting personal with the spirit. But the point of it is to put that loud echo into the atmosphere. Now, I did work with someone a long time ago, and I went on a few paranormal investigations, and they would use a cup to shout in, you know, and the cup was it was a big cup, it was long,
Resonation.
it created
Yeah.
sort of like that echo. But there was a location where you went, Mark, and it was
The
the Barragurney, where there was a big pipe in the floor, and you shouted down that pipe loud as you could, and you created such an echo, the whole area could hear you.
I was like, demon, come
And
on.
the activity we had off the back of just that,
You got to remember that I shouted into this pipe. I kid you not. I knelt down and I went like this, and I went, "Come on, shapeshifter, demon," whatever it was I said. "Come on, where are you two? Hear me, blah blah blah." And then as I come up off the floor
I
for the
watched the
pipe,
episode. Yeah.
I do this, and as I'm coming up, a stone like this comes past my head.
What?
And if I had stayed down there, it would have been a direct hit.
yeah.
Patients, nurses, doctors, come home!
Your lens is so terrible.
That rock just through. That rock just through. That rock just through. Look at it, Chris.
Yeah, but I didn't see it.
I seen it land. Now,
Yeah.
I want to point out that there is no way that we would go into a place and be disrespectful and taunting
No.
to, let's say someone was like, "Oh, my nan died in this house, her name was Eileen, she was a lovely lady." I'm not going to go in and go, "Come on, Eileen, you bitch, let's," you know what I mean? That's not what we
Let's have
not
it.
what we're doing.
No.
A lot of the places we go to do have so say dark stories associated with them.
Yeah.
um
Old.
I mean, a lot of it could be wives' tales, hearsay, stuff like that. But, you know, it's like, it's all you've got to really go off. Without, like, being a historian and knowing, ticking every single box and knowing everything you've got right, all you're being told is, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's a negative force here, or there's an evil spirit here, or there's a darkness here, or I've been scratched in this house," you know?
Yeah.
And with those types of things, I think that you're well in your rights to have a pop at it.
Let's face facts, when you go into a paranormal investigation and you've got all your tools and gizmos, what have you got left? Your stories. You've got your history. And you've got to go by that as well.
And your voice.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah,
and-
sure.
Even with hoppers, if you know, there's people who popped up going, "Oh, this is not anything dark, this is real witches, they come here and practice, and pagans come here and practice, there's nothing
We're not
dark
after
about
the real
this,
people, though.
everything you've said isn't
Yeah,
true."
you know,
And it's
I'd
like, well,
go
I'm
and
only
see for
going
yourself.
I'm only going off of information that I've been fed
Exactly.
by locals that we've interviewed in the first episode that
Yeah.
all were really like we don't want to talk about this.
Absolutely.
And information from Paul and people that live up in that area.
Yeah.
So that's all I can go
Yeah,
on.
it's called shooting the bloody messenger, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with you? I mean, we're only out there to try and find a bit of evidence to support something existing after death.
Exactly
and
that.
that's the reason we're doing it. It's not because we want to be famous and rich on YouTube.
Whatever it may be.
YouTube is just
Got
a
nothing to do
platform
with
for us
it.
to post it on and show everyone what we're doing.
Well,
Yeah.
it would be nice.
Oh, it would be nice. Yeah, money does make a
I'm
difference.
not
doesn't
really
it?
fussed about the money, to be honest. It's always been about finding something for me or actually seeing something with my own eyes.
I'm in a position now where I'm aware that there's something, but I don't know what that something is, and I'm on a journey to try and figure it out. And I feel that over the time we've tried all different types of things. I used to go with groups where they do the whole handed thing and the seancey thing, and those sort of methods, and it was never something that really worked for me. And now it's like
Yeah.
it's still a learning journey. Like, yes, we're saying use this, do that, try this, try that, don't do this, don't do that, but at the end of the day we're all trying to learn and understand how this works, because it's very complex. It just doesn't make sense. But I know there's things out there which definitely shouldn't be used to conduct investigations, and one of them is the SLS camera.
I
Oh,
And I
mate,
agree
don't even get me
with
started on that.
the debunkers.
But
on
we
this.
used that right at the beginning.
We did use that at the beginning,
We
and
didn't know any different.
it was
until
one.
we
We
learned
did.
otherwise.
We used
It
it.
was one of those ones where you think, oh yeah, all the ghost hunters use them, and then you buy one, and then you use it a
And
few
they're not
times,
cheap.
and then you think, what a load of crap. Like, you might as well chuck it in the bin.
I mean,
or take
if
Peppa
you're watching
Pig
this
on the
and
tablet.
you use this, you've probably heard of like the likes of Mr. Gray. Probably absolutely condemn them massively. In essence, it's just it's a camera which is specifically for Xbox,
Yeah.
and they are coded to pick out a sort of
Human body,
humanoid figure, and they send out loads of lasers, and once those lasers get broken, the program then tries to figure out
But
a
how
human
could it
body.
map a ghost?
Now that's the problem. So
You know,
if
they
they
had
go,
those
if
for
they
a laser.
if for it to pick up a ghost, the ghost would actually have to physically form.
Be a solid figure.
Yes.
Otherwise, it would not see it.
So you wouldn't need the device. You would see it anyway with your own
Exactly.
eyes.
Yes. It just
Yeah.
defeats the object
Yeah,
altogether,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, the technology in them isn't that great. It's really old as well.
And his
Really old
Xbox. I mean, come on, PlayStation's so much better. Do you know what I mean?
It's
I'm going
old.
to say this now. Lee, get with the program, mate. Everyone knows it's a crock of shit, mate.
The other thing that we keep seeing people use that we don't use ourselves, because I just don't trust them at all, and that is anything that's an application on a mobile phone.
Oh,
No,
More specifically, the
Yeah.
word dictionary application.
they are basically
Six
made
Shades of
by
Shark
all
shit,
these
that's what that
different
stuff is,
all
right?
these different companies for money. And that's all it is.
have you noticed though? They're
You
always
see it,
American
look,
words.
Try my app.
They're never English words, they're American
do that.
words.
No rubbish.
I haven't used them, so I can't really comment. But I'm telling you now, there's a reason why I don't use them. But if people do want to use them, then have at it.
You
It's
can
fine.
if you're doing
wanna-
it for fun, but
if you're
don't
doing
think
it for
it's
fun and
genuine.
you just
Yeah.
want to kill some time,
It's the
whatever.
most randomest thing you have ever.
No,
ever
some of them
used.
aren't even random though.
No?
No. So someone looked into one of them and they managed to get the source code. So that's, for people that don't understand that, that's like what the program's built up on. It's all coded. Anyway, got the source code, and within the source code it said that there was a collection of words within a dictionary, but then it also used the voice recognition technology in the phone. So if you went,
That's right.
"Are you here?"
That's right.
it would then hear that,
Because on
and
the
then
app
go,
itself,
yes.
it's got
Yeah.
a couple of different settings. Now you can have it on the setting with the white noise,
Yeah,
with the little graph going up and down the screen. Now I've noticed when I've used it before in my garden, just to have a laugh with my stepson and stuff, that every time you talk, the line actually stops and pauses for a split second, and then it carries on going again, and then it answers whatever you're saying. So it's listening to what you're
programmed.
saying, and it's
Yeah.
trying to generate as close of an answer as it can.
The best way to
Just an act.
if you've got one out there, okay, if you use one and you're adamant that it works and it's brilliant and the spirits
Then
communicate
fair
with
play
it,
to you.
what I want you to try and do is this. Next time you are using this particular app that you've got, I want you to get a piece of paper with the question that you want the answer to, and you write the question on the paper, and then you show it to everybody and go, Spirit, if you're here, answer this, and point to the question.
Yeah.
Then, if that then answers the question on the device from
you
the
got your
written
answer.
text on that paper, then there's something to that.
Then it's
Yeah.
credible.
Yeah,
but
that's
other
definitely
than that,
credible.
It's like any other
Proper
phone
crap.
app. It's just a way of making money.
Of course.
That's all it is.
One
Um,
of our
I think that's a big.
Old-fashioned methods. What are you lot thinking about? Let's just chuck it.
Ouija board knows.
Old-fashioned
Oh,
method.
bloody hell,
If you want a good old-fashioned method, I reckon, and we're getting ourselves one at the moment. We're still waiting for Paul to get it off his dad. Is the original camcorders
VHS
with the cassette tapes?
Yeah, I've
now
got
I
one.
think
I've
that
got
would
one.
be
I'm bringing one to Woodchester.
that would be brilliant.
I'm bringing.
Now, I reckon you can't debunk that because that's recorded on a roll of film inside the tape.
Yeah.
But what the methods I meant was yes. So such as Ouija board, table tipping, seances.
I don't like Ouija boards. I reckon they're rubbish.
I think Ouija boards are
pendulums.
just a bit of MDF.
I mean, we've done Ouija boards.
And I'm not being funny. Whether somebody's pushing that planchette on purpose or unwillingly.
Subliminal, idiomotor effect.
Yeah, but you can. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can move things without physically knowing that you're moving.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
We always said that if you want to use a Ouija board, that's fine, but you don't really need to touch the planchette.
I mean, it was a
because-
child's
Why
game.
do you need to touch your planchette?
Why do you need to?
They say because it's like
A portal or
it's
something. Isn't it?
channeling through you.
Yeah.
I can understand that to some degree, right? But even if that planchette moved and there's people touching it, there's always going to be this if in doubt, isn't there? But I will say that I won't use one just on the chance it is real.
Like table tipping, well, just fold a beer mat up and pop it under the leg. It's probably a little bit wobbly.
No, I've seen it. I've done it. I've seen it. I've been there, done it, seen it, got the badge.
Wonky tables.
Again,
Table tipping
it's
on
all
a-
to do with the idiomotor effect. So, and you'll always notice it's a really light, small table.
Yeah.
You get enough people round there. All it takes is for somebody to like move their weight a little bit. That table's going to go.
Yeah,
Then
of
someone
course.
else will move. It's going to go. Then once you start getting that momentum up and it goes round, suddenly it's jumping about. It's going.
Or
That's
if
what
you're in an
it's-
old place and it's floorboards, it could be the floorboards moving it as your body weight
it's
shifted.
more than often the people themselves without realizing they're doing it.
Yeah, well, the fact of the matter is, that's why I said at the start, it's probably best not to touch the object that you want to be moved, right?
yeah.
But, like, if items can move, and we know they can, right? We know that.
Yeah.
Why can't a planchette? It's
On
still
its
an
own.
item. I mean, if you left it on the board and you recorded it as a trigger
Would it
object
move on its own?
and it moved on its own, that is amazing.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah.
If you've
Oh,
got Ouija
yeah.
boards out there,
Yeah.
people, and you wanna use them, and you stand by that there's a spirit communicating through them, put the board down, record your planchette, and ask the questions. If that thing moves, that's interesting. Mind you, me being me, I'm still gonna be like, well, there's a magnet under the system. Someone's controlling it from afar. That's what I'm like. Unless I see it for myself, I'm stubborn.
Yep.
So we've started using, and I don't know whether it's for my own personal pleasure of making people go, or if it actually does something. But that's the Aztec death whistle, and I do enjoy using it.
Other people might not enjoy you using it, put
No.
it that way.
No.
I think if you are going to use the Aztec death whistle, it's probably best to maybe do it off camera or let people know you're doing it, because it is deafening, it's loud.
And it gives you an heart attack.
What's the story behind them? Are they meant to like?
It's supposed to awaken the dead.
Wake the spirits up and stuff
That's
like
what
that.
I knew there was something to it, but I
But
can't
if you
remember.
noticed on the video for Hot Buzz, I blew that death whistle
And
shortly
then,
after. Help me!
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
But you know what we've done now? We've created our own method,
Yeah,
a community of
Oh, we
people
have.
that can work together.
Big one.
that can work together.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Most of the thing is when
Support each
you're
other.
with different teams and different people and everybody has their own ways. I think the most important thing that if you're watching this video that you should take away from this, if you believe or don't believe in some of the things we're talking about, but this one is that forget all the devices, all the gizmos, all the gadgets, right? All you really need is to call out
And listen.
and be quiet.
Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah.
way.
And that's
Definitely.
it.
Dead silent.
You have to be quiet,
Yeah.
Because
really quiet.
Yeah.
you will get things happening. You call out
100%.
whichever method you prefer, nice or nasty, it's up to you. But be persistent and just put gaps in, and then
yeah, it ain't a 1 minute thing, a 2 minute thing,
No.
or a 5 minute thing. You're gonna have to be quiet for 15 to 20
unless
minutes.
you're really lucky.
I mean, on our videos, it portrays that we capture stuff straight away instantly, but we don't. We wait hours and hours and hours sometimes to even hear the slightest noise or a knock.
Yeah, we take
So-
out a lot of the dross, but that method
Yeah.
is all you need. You just need to go to a location, call out, shout a little bit, sit and wait,
Yeah,
and that's it.
100%.
Do quiet walking as well. In location.
Quiet walking with the EMF is something I would definitely consider.
The thing we haven't talked about yet is spirit boxes. Now, okay, so the reason that we've not really used them is because we try to rely mainly on the area itself creating sounds, and
Yeah.
I don't want to miss the sounds of like knocking and voices or banging and stuff like that. But also, both me and Chris joined Dean in Spiritual Awakening and did the Estes method, and that was weird because you were all on noise cancelling headphones and yet you were answering my questions and saying the same word. Because some people might say with the spirit boxes that you could just be picking up a word that you think it's saying
From radio waves. sort of
and
thing.
then you're then using that word to make sense with what you're asking. But when those people can't even hear what I'm asking and they all say the same word,
like three-
and there's like
was it
three or four people and they all like, I was like hello, and then they all went hi.
Hello, my name's Mark. You know who I am?
Hi.
Hello. Can I get your name? Now I've given you my name. Could I possibly get your name? Are you a child?
No.
And Stu from Paranormal Walks, he uses it quite a lot, and there's some stuff on there where it's undeniable what's being said.
Yeah.
So you have to think to yourself, is there something to this? You've recently
Yeah.
got building a portal box, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which basically, for those of you out there, it's a spirit box hooked up to a noise pedal, gate pedal, and a reverb pedal, which then links to an amp,
Yeah.
and it removes all the.
Voices
I
coming
think
from.
people should watch Paranormal Walks.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
watch
definitely.
What Stu does, just for a
Let's
really
go.
good idea. But also the REM pod.
Oh yeah, no, you
The
forgot
REM
about
pod
that.
is a
Yeah.
It's
The-
a
oh, the
weapon,
newer-
isn't it? It's a hell of a weapon.
I don't
Everyone
know.
The
If I
newer
was
ones, I
right,
don't agree.
I
The
don't
newer
know.
ones are
The
rubbish.
new round ones are
I
shite.
think some of them are overpriced
Yeah.
gizmos,
Absolutely. 95
and I
quid for a
think
round.
that
95
I
pound.
don't like them. Do you know what? I much prefer if somebody like taking just a theremin, not like
built all mine
all this.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad's in the progress of building some. I don't know what you did with yours, but my dad's currently bought an alarm that goes over a door,
Over a door handle,
Yeah.
that's so ones.
and he's
Yeah.
taking it apart and he's
Yeah,
attaching an
yeah,
aerial.
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
what we've done with ours.
So it's effectively like a theremin.
That's
So
right.
it sends out a signal.
Yeah, that's exactly the
that's
ones
right.
that we use.
Yeah.
Our son built
See,
them
now
himself.
that I like those.
But you can't deny it is a hell of a weapon to be used. I mean, like a lot of teams do use them. You
Yeah.
plonk them down, and they are used all night on an investigation. People put them at the top and the bottom of the stairs. People just they do rely heavily on something coming into that area.
And then they rely on the evidence, though. They use them as their evidence when they shouldn't be used as evidence.
Well, I mean, it depends on how the evidence is presented as well. If it just goes off randomly, that's just crap.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but
Like the
like
round ones.
if they are going
Maybe
off
just
directly
willy-nilly.
to, oh, go there again, go away, go there again, and then all of a sudden it dies out due to no questions being asked, and then starts up again at your command, then fair enough, you can
That's
go,
weird,
well, that's
yeah.
weird.
Which
That's
has
very
at the
strange.
farm.
Nuns Cross, yeah, we got that in Nuns Cross.
Yeah.
And in quite a few other locations.
So
we got
knocking
that.
them completely might be a bit of a
The REM pods specifically, it's just something about them that doesn't sit well with me. I think it's because, you know, they can malfunction, which obviously
I
We've
bought
been
one,
with people who
Mark,
have
the round one with the 4 lights on the
Yeah.
top and all that lot. That malfunctions.
It was
Yeah.
crap.
It's brand new.
It malfunctions every 5 minutes.
Whereas when
literally.
you
Even with a brand new
when
battery.
you build your own, you know the circuitry.
Yes.
You know what you
And
meant,
those ones
you
have
know.
never let us down.
Because you don't
never
know
let us down.
if in these devices, especially these newer ones, you don't know if they put a logic board in there.
Mm.
What that basically means is it's a circuit board which is set to go off at certain intervals,
Oh, okay.
and it's like yes, no, no, yes, no, like binary.
Everyone's got a preference on them. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on them. But like, I don't think we can say too much because we don't use them.
No, but from witnessing what they're like, from seeing other people's, from
Self-made ones are more accurate
I know
and
that.
more
But what I'm saying
Oh,
is
yeah.
we've
reliable,
never
yeah.
done a specific study ourselves on them in locations. Like for example, we never took one to Snuff Mills. We've never took one
I
to the
know.
Poltergeist house. We've never bothered. And mostly because we've gone, oh, too much tech, we don't need it.
So, I mean, whatever you decide you want to use, you can. It's all opinions at the end of the day. It's up to you. You can take on board what we're saying, or you can just do your own thing.
Faraday
Yeah.
cage.
Faraday
That's the way
cage.
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you will
definitely.
see, you
I'm
will see
patenting
that in the upcoming Dreadmare collaboration. We will be using it at
Winchester.
Woodchester Mansion.
And
Don't miss
you-
that episode. It's
Yeah,
going to be amazing.
Please subscribe, like, and share to both Bristol Paranormal Hunters UK and Haunted the Truth. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
Peace.
Good night.